I remember buying my son's first toddler bike. I just picked the cutest one at the big box store. Big mistake. It was incredibly heavy. The hard wheels kept slipping on the pavement, and he ended up terrified, refusing to ride it for months. Choosing the wrong starter bike can crush their confidence instantly. To save you from the same frustration, I've personally tested the top toddler bikes on the market. Today, I'm ranking the 7 best balance bikes, revealing exactly which ones actually build balance and which to avoid. Let's dive into the list. 7. SEREED Baby Balance Bike. When I first pulled this out of the box, the tool-free assembly was definitely a breath of fresh air. It is incredibly lightweight at just over 3.5 pounds, which makes it very easy for a 1-year-old to push around without feeling overwhelmed by a heavy frame. The bike features 4 fully enclosed wheels, aiming to provide extra stability for toddlers just learning to walk. The steering is limited to 135 degrees to prevent sharp turns that could lead to side falls. In my testing indoors on carpet and hardwood, it functioned well as a ride-on toy, allowing my youngest tester to scoot around the living room safely while getting a feel for moving independently. However, as soon as we took the SEREED outside, its limitations became glaringly obvious. The wheels are made of a hard, EVA foam that is completely smooth, offering virtually zero traction on anything other than perfect indoor flooring. On slightly damp pavement or even a flat grassy lawn, the wheels slip frustratingly, making the toddler spin out rather than move forward. Furthermore, this isn't a true balance bike. It's a ride-on toy that doesn't actually teach the fundamental skill of balancing. Because it stands up on its own with 4 wheels, the child never learns how to shift their weight to stay upright. The seat height is also completely non-adjustable, meaning your child will outgrow this incredibly fast, leaving you back at the store looking for a real balance bike within a matter of months. Retrospec Cub Toddler Balance Bike. Designed as a step up for kids between 12 and 24 months, this model drops the 4-wheel design for a closer approximation to a real bicycle. Unboxing the Cub, I immediately appreciated the aesthetic. Retrospec always delivers on a charming, classic look with beautiful pastel color options that parents absolutely love photographing. The step-through frame design is quite well thought out, sitting incredibly low to the ground. When I tested this with a very cautious 18-month-old, they found it easy to straddle the frame and plant both feet firmly on the driveway. It is lightweight, making it simple enough to carry back to the house when your little one inevitably gets tired halfway down the block. Despite its charming looks, I ran into some structural annoyances during testing. The materials feel a bit flimsy compared to higher-end models, particularly the plastic elements around the headset and wheels. We found that the wheels, which are supposedly maintenance-free and puncture-proof, were down remarkably fast on concrete, developing a rugged, uneven texture that made the ride significantly bumpier over just a few weeks of regular use. Another frustrating element is the lack of adjustability and longevity. The handlebars and the seat do have a tiny bit of wiggle room, but not nearly enough to accommodate a growing toddler properly. Worst of all, the wheel bearings are noticeably stiff out of the box. Instead of gliding smoothly when pushed, there is a distinct resistance, meaning the toddler has to work much harder to gain any momentum, which can quickly lead to exhaustion. 5. Hornit AIRO Balance Bike. Breaking into our top 5 is the Hornit AIRO Balance Bike, which completely changes the game when it comes to material and weight. When this arrived for testing, I was shocked by how light the box felt. The AIRO is constructed from a magnesium alloy frame, bringing the total weight to a mere 6.5 pounds, making it one of the absolute lightest true balance bikes on the entire market. That ultra-lightweight design translates to immediate confidence for a toddler. I handed this to a timid 2-year-old, and because the bike weighed barely more than a gallon of milk, they had no trouble maneuvering, lifting, or controlling it. The frame is also incredibly sleek and seamless, looking like a piece of high-end sporting equipment rather than a bulky plastic child's toy. One of the best features I discovered during our outdoor testing sessions is the inclusion of real, air-filled rubber tires. Upgrading from foam to pneumatic tires makes a world of difference. The Hornit AIRO absorbed all the tiny bumps, cracks, and pebbles on our local trails, offering an exceptionally smooth ride. The grip on wet grass and loose dirt was fantastic, allowing our testers to lean into turns without sliding out. The only minor quirk I noted was the lack of a handbrake, which some parents might want as their child gets faster, but for pure balancing, this bike excels. The footrests are subtly integrated into the frame with grip tape, giving kids a natural place to tuck their feet once they learn to glide. The fully adjustable seat post ensures it grows with your child, making the Hornit AIRO a beautifully designed, highly functional choice. 4. Strider 12 Sport Bike. Strider practically invented the modern balance bike category, and testing the 12 Sport model reminded me exactly why they have maintained their dominance for so long. The steel frame is notoriously durable. A test model was dropped, thrown, and crashed repeatedly, yet it shrugged off the abuse without a single dent. What really makes the Strider Sport stand out in a crowded market is its unparalleled adjustability. It comes out of the box with quick-release seat and handlebar clamps, allowing me to adjust the height in seconds without searching for an Allen wrench. Furthermore, it includes a second, extra-long seat post in the box, stretching the usable lifespan of this bike from an 18-month-old up to a 4 or even 5-year-old. During our neighborhood tests, the built-in footrests positioned perfectly beneath the saddle proved to be highly effective. Once the toddlers picked up enough speed, they intuitively lifted their feet and rested them on the grip tape frame, mimicking the exact body position they will eventually need for pedals. It's a brilliant design element that truly accelerates the transition to a pedal bike. While it does utilize EVA foam tires instead of air-filled rubber, which means it can be a bit bouncy on rocky terrain and lacks the ultimate grip of premium tires. The trade-off is zero maintenance. You'll never have to fix a flat tire on a Strider. For parents looking for an incredibly rugged, maintenance-free, and long-lasting bike that has proven its worth millions of times over, the Strider 12 Sport remains a powerhouse. 3. Kidvelo Rookie 12. If you haven't heard of Kidvelo yet, you need to pay attention, because they are engineering some of the most impressive kids' bikes I have ever had the pleasure of testing. The Rookie 12 features a gorgeous, lightweight aluminum frame that instantly feels premium to the touch, combining the best aspects of traditional biking with modern balance mechanics. What absolutely blew me away during testing is the geometry of this bike. The engineers at Kidvelo have designed the Rookie 12 with a slightly longer wheelbase and a specialized head tube angle that completely eliminates the twitchy steering often seen on smaller bikes. When our 3-year-old test rider took it down a rather steep driveway, the bike tracked perfectly straight, giving him immense stability and keeping him totally calm. They have also opted for high-quality, real pneumatic rubber tires mounted on sleek alloy rims. The traction is simply phenomenal. We took the Rookie 12 over slick leaves, gravel paths, and muddy park grass, and the bike handled it all with absolute ease. The ride quality is unbelievably smooth, effectively dampening vibrations so the child's hands and arms don't get fatigued during longer weekend rides. I also highly appreciated the fully adjustable threadless headset, a feature usually reserved for adult mountain bikes. It allows for precise handlebar adjustments, ensuring a perfect ergonomic fit as the child grows. The saddle is beautifully padded and contoured specifically for narrow toddler hips. The Kidvelo Rookie 12 feels less like a toy and more like a high-performance bicycle shrunk down for a toddler. 2. Legendary Woom 1. In the world of premium children's bicycles, Woom is the gold standard, and getting my hands on the Woom 1 for testing was an absolute joy. Everything about this bike is meticulously tailored to the exact proportions and biomechanics of a small child, starting with its incredibly light, high-quality aluminum frame. The standout feature that immediately separates the Woom 1 from its competitors is the braking system. It comes equipped with a custom-designed, color-coded rear V-brake. The brake lever is scaled down drastically so that tiny, weak toddler hands can easily reach and squeeze it. During our testing, watching a 2-and-a-half-year-old learn to gently squeeze the brake to stop, rather than destroying the toes of their shoes, was a total revelation. The ergonomics of the Woom 1 are simply flawless. The low step-through design makes mounting effortless, while the long wheelbase guarantees smooth, forgiving handling. The high-quality Schwalbe pneumatic tires feature a reflective stripe for safety and provide an unbelievable amount of grip and cushioning. Whether on pavement, dirt, or cobblestones, the Woom 1 glides effortlessly, allowing kids to pick up astonishing speed with total control. Another brilliant touch is the steering limiter. Unlike the restrictive plastic limiters on cheaper bikes, Woom uses a small, flexible rubber ring attached to the fork and frame. It prevents the handlebars from spinning completely around and causing a crash, while still allowing enough steering freedom for sharp, natural turns. The Woom one is an investment, but its unmatched quality and high resale value make it easily one of the best you can buy. 1. Revolutionary Black Mountain Pinto. When I began testing this bike, I realized it wasn't just a balance bike. It is an engineering marvel that solves the biggest problem parents face: constantly buying new bikes as kids grow. The Pinto features an exclusive growing frame technology that allows the actual chassis of the bicycle to extend and expand as your child gets taller. We started our testing with the Pinto in its primary balance bike mode. The incredibly robust yet lightweight aluminum frame felt remarkably sturdy, and the geometry was spot on. The micro-adjust brakes provided exceptional stopping power, and the premium Kenda tires easily handled every terrain we threw at it. In its balance setup, it performed flawlessly, standing toe-to-toe with the Woom one in terms of premium feel and perfect handling. But the real magic happens when your child is ready to pedal. Instead of tossing the balance bike and buying a brand new pedal bike, the Pinto includes a pedal kit right out of the box. The frame literally scales up, increasing the gear ratio and saddle height, transforming seamlessly into a high-performance 14-inch pedal bike. Testing this transition was mind-blowing. The same child who balanced on it on Tuesday was pedaling it independently by Friday, because they already felt perfectly at home on the exact same frame. Every single component on the Pinto, from the bespoke saddle to the ultra-smooth sealed cartridge bearings, screams top-tier quality. It completely eliminates the massive learning curve of transitioning to a pedal bike by keeping the weight, handlebars, and brakes exactly the same. While the initial price tag is high, it essentially replaces 2 to 3 separate bikes you would otherwise have to buy. The Black Mountain Pinto is the absolute ultimate toddler bike, taking our #1 spot without hesitation.